Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to another video. John Sinclair TV back again for a warm-up show. And I've got Matt, the Wolverhampton fan. How are you, Matt? You okay?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me on. Be the voice of the Wolves this afternoon.
Fantastic. So I hope any Wolves fans in the chat is all you're welcome to as well. So, guys, if you like the video, like what you see, then please give it a like, subscribe. Also, if you like the super chat, it's open as well. And if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p. So, yeah, it should be the cracking game this afternoon between Wolves against Newcastle against Wolves at St James's Park. Wolves, a couple points clear for the drop, and I think it'll be okay. So, the thing is, though, right, Wolves are the up and down side in the minute this season, right? It didn't start well, and, they won their first game. I think it's about the fifth or sixth game in. And, yeah, so tell us about your season so far, mate.
Well, it's been a proper tale of two halves, no pun intended, with Wolves. When Wolves went into the international World Cup break, we were bottom of the table, but we'd got rid of Bruno Lage and we'd had an interim manager in Steve Davis. And there was a lot of criticism and flack for the board's decision to kind of get rid of Bruno Lage without there being a plan in place. Now, we'd coveted Julian Lopetegui for a long time. We tried to get him in at the start of our ownership with Fosun, and for reasons he didn't come. And the third attempt, he's with us now, and it's been a much better season since the start after the World Cup. We're into, like, I suppose, the European places if we started the season then. So we finally have a bit more of an identity, and it always helps that he opened the checkbook as well, the chairman, in the January transfer window.
Yeah, seriously, you're absolutely right. I mean, Lopetegui, I think he's a cracking manager. I've always rated that manager, sort of thing. And Sophia got him sacked at the wrong time, but instead lost to Jorgen. I think he's a cracking manager, him. And you got some good players as well. I mean, he's touched on Bruno Lage. I mean, first season, I think he did all right. I mean, playing some cracking football, open attacking football. He had about something like 20 shots, goal attempts, average on a game. And look, the second season's always going to be tricky for him. I'm not going to lie, but I think they made the right decision sacking him. And you got some good players as well. Matías Núñez, I quite like him. I think he's a cracking player. He got Kulu, I think it's the guy from Atletico Madrid, a Brazilian, as well. Come on,
Matheus Cunha,
yeah, I think he's going to be good. And I think he's going to be really good, that guy. But the one I'm looking to watch for today is Ruben Neves. He's got 12 months left on his contract at the end of the season. He hasn't signed a new one yet. He's being linked with us as well, and other clubs as well. Ruben Neves, he's your club captain, right? And can you see him signing a new deal?
It's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. He's such a legend now at the club. And there's a pocket of the fan base that almost want him to move because he deserves the move now. At the end of last season, there were tears as he got off the pitch on the last game. He was saying his goodbyes. Everything was ready for him to move on. Whether that be the deal wasn't right for the club, we weren't in a position where we had to sell him there and then. But he stayed, and he's been crucial for us so far this season. But like a lot of players under Lopetegui now, it's a fresh start, Adama Traore being one of them. And there's talk of contracts for all sorts of players that will be up. But, Neves is a top player, and we'd be naive to think he's going to stay with us forever.
That is the thing. You need to keep on to Ruben Neves as possible as well, because that guy, I've always rated from day one since he walked through the door, and he's got a powerful shot either foot, and his long-distance shooting, speed kicks is absolutely fantastic. And apparently Lopetegui is having second thoughts about playing this guy today, because if he gets sport today, he'll get a 2-game ban.
This is the problem, and we've got, no game in the Premier League is a free hit. However, there are games against Forest and Leeds that are coming up where we need to have him playing. Like, he has to play. They're the 6-pointers for us, just to see us comfortably avoid the drop. The issue that we have without Neves on the field is we don't lack creativity, but he's good defensively and will sit just in front of the centre-backs and can spray that ball around. But he also can get stuck in the middle as well. And it allows, if Moutinho plays, Moutinho can sit that little bit further forward and just be a bit of a menace, pick pockets and then play your wingers on. And it's a difficult one because if he gets booked here and he's suspended for a couple of games, it puts us in a bad position against teams around us in the table.
Yeah, and you can't afford to get him suspended because you need the bottom of the table. And if you lose him for a couple of game ban, that could be very, very costly when you fight relegation. I've got some comments in, by the way. So if you've got any questions for Matty, please fire away. Whether it's a Wolves question, Newcastle question, anything as well. So show some love to him. So I've got a comment from Ian. Big up to Ian, by the way. I hope you're okay. Hi to you, mate. He just pops in, comes out, which is fair enough. He's a busy guy. Afternoon to Alan. Today, I think Newcastle score goals and end their drought. 3-0 to Newcastle. I think it's going to be a tight game today, Alan, but I love your positivity. Afternoon to the Clonlag, massive game today. Let's hope we have brought our shooting boots. Absolutely, we need to. Big up to Truls from Norway. I said hi to everyone else. Hope Isak starts today and target 2. And big up to Leslie. Hi to Leslie. Hope you're okay. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. Here's to a great show. Thank you, Leslie. And also do follow Natalika UK. And episode hi to Les. Afternoon all. Yeah. After saying, I've been a bit flat about this game. Our weak moves are kicking in at gear now. Don't care about the score as long as we win it. Thank you, Leslie. I hope we do as well. My lineup will be Carriers, Lascelles, and here's a real one. Poops, Trips, Share, Botman, Target, Bruno, Longstaff, Willock, ASM, Isak, and Gordon. Let's hope Jules' predictions to the lineup is correct. Thank you very much, Dean Clough, for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed for that. 99p. Good evening to Gareth, or Hope UK. Hope for a Toon win the day. And Dan, I can't say what I really mean. Jules, I love you, man. Afternoon to Gareth. Hope for a Toon win a day. Hey to Chairs as well. Hi to Chairs. Hope you're great. And Nurse is kicking in. And that City went right 1-0. John, mate, Gary. Yeah, they won by a goal nil against Norwich. What can I say about them? Not a lot. I really hope Wales is on the bench for the rest of the season, for the rest and the rest of the season as well. Agree to rules, but not come to what happened. And everyone's just say, I think how we're playing Miggy, Gordon, Wilson, hope not that is the case. So back onto Wolves. You have spent a lot of money in the January window as well. I don't know how much you spend exactly, and maybe a bit in the summer as well. As Lopin too, you got a long-term contract, you guys.
Yeah, he's with us for a few years, and I think part of the intention of him coming in was he was told that we would be able to spend money. And the local journalists for Wolves have already said that if we stay up, he's been given assurances that we will spend again. Part of the issue will be there's a core amount of players that are running at the end of contracts or careers that need replacing. So Adama Traore looks like he's going to leave. Jeremy Tinio, as wonderful as a player as he is, he's coming to the twilight of his career now and probably deserves that move to the MLS to earn a ridiculous amount of money before he finishes up. Jimenez needs replacing as well. And a couple of others. Neves will go, most likely. I can't see Mateus Nunes staying around too long either. So whilst we will spend money, it will be for positions that need it, not luxury players. So it'll be interesting to see what this squad looks like at the start of next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mateus Nunes, I rate that guy anyway. I mean, he plays a 4-2-3-1, and you got players like Sa, Ngua, Zemendo, Castro, Kilman, and Dawson at the back four. You're holding midfielders Neves and Lemina, and you got Sarabia, Nunes, Neto, and you got Diego Costa. Talking about Diego Costa, when you got him, I thought, wow, okay, it's been given a second chance in the Premier League. If he's given marks out of 10 for this guy, how many marks would you give Diego Costa?
It's really hard because if you're seeing him as in purely brought in as a striker, it's like a 2 or a 3 because he's not contributed goals, purely out and out goals. But what he gives you on the field is ruthlessness, and he breaks up play and he holds up play to allow other players to do what they need to do. There's a horrible stat about Wolves. I'm not sure if you're aware of an anniversary that we've had this last few days, which is not one Wolves player that's a recognised striker has scored a goal in a calendar year.
Wow.
And that's all, yeah. So Costa, is partly to blame for that as well, but he does give you, he lets other players shine. And the same with Jimenez, really. Whilst he hasn't been on the score sheets as of late, he has been an assist maker and has given us the opportunity to allow other players to do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he'd be there at the end, since I'd be beyond that, in my opinion. I'm looking at the back four. I mean, I quite like the Kilman, the guy 6'4", central defender. A lot of clubs after this guy, and he's been highly thought of for that team.
Yeah, he is. He's come through, from a difficult non-league career like Maidstone, and then he's come through into the Premier League through Wolves and just rose up the ranks. And there was a point in time, where he had he was kind of an apprentice to Connor Cody and Willie Bolly and others that were there with him around the time. And then when he had his opportunity to get into the first team, he took it with both hands. The fact that now he's got someone vastly experienced in Craig Dawson alongside him is only going to benefit him and Nathan Collins, who's been brought in during this window.
I tell you what, I think West Ham be kicking into their selves, by the way. I think Craig Dawson is their best defender, to be fair, alongside it. Ilgard as well, the Moroccan lad. I think West Ham in big trouble, by the way. I can't lie. They're in massive trouble this season. Excuse me. But I think you got a candy buy in Dawson. I don't know what she costs, but I tell you what, whatever it costs, I think it's a cracking buy. Experience at the back, knows the Premier League. And but still, on to a bit of Newcastle. Look, we haven't been scoring enough late. We've already won once since December the 29th, just to turn the year against Fulham. I think we need to make some big changes. What do you think of Newcastle United's season so far, up until now? And Eddie,
I think Newcastle are pretty much exactly where I thought they would be. So I thought that they would massively improve on the season prior. Brought in some really astute signings without going mad money-wise. You haven't put yourselves in a position like Chelsea where you'll get bent over backwards to sign a player just because you've got the money. Eddie Howe is one of these where the dark arts of Eddie Howe is slowly creeping into Newcastle's play. I think you're one of the highest teams in terms of, the lowest teams in terms of actual ball on the field play time. The dark arts of kind of Eddie Howe's way. He did it with Bournemouth a lot as well. Yeah. He's coming through, but listen, it works. It works for Bournemouth. It works for Newcastle now. But you've got a really good group of players that, Trippier, what an unbelievable signing that was. That really was a statement signing in terms of, wow, this is the new Newcastle. This is what's going to happen now. We're going to turn heads with this. But also players like Almiron, who you've had a while that took a bit of time to get going, are now all of a sudden kind of revitalised in a way. I know I don't watch Newcastle week in, week out, so there are going to be certain players that aren't fan favourites. But, a player like Dan Burn, for example, not a fashionable player by any stretch of the imagination. He's not going to make the cover of FIFA anytime soon. But he just does a job. He's a menace. He's in front of goal and defending the goal as well. I like the way Newcastle play. I think the expectation, because you've had such a good run in terms of the cup and the league, I think the expectation will be, if you trail off towards the end of the season, it will be something of a disappointment where actually
I agree.
You're in a position that is possibly overachieving at this point in time.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it overachieving. I have to agree there. But you've got some teams like Brighton, Brentford, and Fulham behind us. If we finish below those three teams, for me personally, I know people's going to say it's been a better season, been an improved season. But for me personally, I was saying two ways. Started well, faded out. That's the thing. Because we as a fan base, you cannot afford to finish below those three teams I mentioned. You're quite right. That has been an improvement in my opinion. But we need to improve more and more and more. We need to replace players that aren't deemed not good enough. You touched on Miggy as well. I like Miguel Almiron. I really do. But it's gone back to the old Miggy. That was shown before, and that's the problem. He keeps passing the ball back to Kieran Trippier. And also, he doesn't take on the players like he did at the beginning of the season. And let's be real, right? I mean, I love Miggy to bits, but is he going to take us forward? Is he going to take us to a title? Is he going to take us to a top four in the future? Probably not. And also, in your opinion, also as well, I mean, I'm getting people saying that Newcastle United are not ready for the Champions League. We don't need to be get top four this season. But if you can get top four this season, then you can buy better players while we're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But our fan base, think they're not ready with this squad. I get it. I do get it. But we need to improve anyway.
I think what should be encouraging for Newcastle fans is you don't lose many games. You just draw far too many.
That's
So
the problem.
it's something where actually a smaller improvement needs to be made to turn those draws into wins. But you're not getting pumped every week. You're not losing every single game. You know what I mean? You're well ahead in terms of goal difference, and those draws just have to turn into wins. But isn't that top four teams anyway? That's what top four teams do, I guess. You look at some of the teams around you, like Spurs. Yeah, they've lost a fair few, but they either lose or win, and they have a lot more wins than Newcastle do. But I think European football, you more than likely will get it in some capacity, as long as your squad is strong enough to contend on two fronts. It can only really be a positive. It's when teams get burnt out from Europe that you'd need to worry that you've got too many games, 2 domestic cup competitions, and then a European Cup, and then fighting in the league. That's where it can be a bit tricky. But in your opinion, do you think Newcastle have the squad to do that next season?
The current squad we got and the current bench we got, no, definitely, because our squad depth is stretched big time. We look at it. We've got players like Jacob Murphy. To be fair, he's done Jamal Lascelles. He had a good game against Man City. I thought he handled Haaland quite well, and others as well that deemed not good enough. Dummett, Richie, and Elliot Anderson. I think he needs to be on loan, by the way. All them lot, right? They're not going to take us where we want to be, but we need to improve big style. We need players like Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, both for Napoli. We need players like that to boost our squad. Do you know what I mean? We definitely need another CDM, like Edson Alvarez and Corney from Mönchengladbach as well. Players like that with quality, solid in the midfield, could protect the back four. Sean Longstaff, I like him, but he's hot and cold in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. Is he going to get me top 4 this season? Is he going to get us to a title? I don't think he will. Squad bench as a bench player, 100%. But we definitely need to sort out these attacking rear. Like ASM, so Maximin, I like him. Don't get us wrong. But it's all right having you run. It's okay if you do the dribbles and take on players, but if you haven't got an end product like Traore at times, it's not going to do us any good at all whatsoever. And Miron, again, he's inconsistent, started well. And I'm afraid to say he's gone back to the old Miggy. And up front, I've got to touch on Callum Wilson, right? I like Callum Wilson. I love Callum Wilson. Yeah, he's 31. The problem is he's not going to get me a title because his injuries is catching up with him, number one. Number two, he's not going to get me 20 goals a season, right? I'm not criticising, but I'm just being honest. And some of our fan base, Newcastle fan base, and most of them saying, you're not allowed to have a go at Callum Wilson. He's a great lad. I love him, but on the pitch, he's not going to get us. He's not going to get me a title. He's not going to get me 20 goals and win a title. That is the thing. But Callum Wilson, what do you think for Callum Wilson?
It's funny. It's funny because like great player, but in the position where you are now, in terms of milling around, kind of anywhere between saying 6th and 9th or something like that. He's exactly that kind of player. But the elite players. Nearly every season get you 20, 25 goals. And if you want to break that, if you need to break the status quo and get into that top 6 as a regular feature, there are passengers in your squad. But I think the understanding is that you've got the financial backing to be able to make those changes when it needs to happen. So yeah, I like the player as well. And from an English point of view, it's good to see English talent do well. But a long-term thing for Newcastle, probably not.
Fair comment, by the way. I see what you mean. I mean, even Paul Merson, he just despised Newcastle United fans as well. Even said exactly the same thing. And for me, I want a leap striker in the future years. But fair point. Let's go to some comments, by the way. I think I will play Miggy Gordon Wilson. I hope not, though. And there was 5 points short of the playoffs. That's and Sunderland. Thank you, Gary, for that, mate. VSAS always seems to bite us in the backside of 10 to end their droughts against us. That is talking about Wolves. Cheers. I know exactly what you mean, mate. Really hope Howard understands that 2 key quality players, they must replace the likes of Longstaff and some others to keep building and not to go for subs mostly. Yeah, that's a fair comment there. That's a fair comment. Not in 100 mil players, just quality. Yeah. And just trying to Jazz. And good paradoxical points, Jules. Yeah, that's in Jazz again. And Wilson, Wigan and Burn needs to be rested. That's in Gareth. and we have an average 28.6 touches in opposition box per game this season. Top of the teams outside Big Six. It's the finishing is the issue. Clone lad, you're absolutely right, mate. Finishing is our big problem. We need to fix it up very, very quickly. Otherwise, not just if you can't score goals, you don't win games. Simple as that. It's because you don't have the balance on left or right. So predictable moves on the right being found out. I'm going to come on to that question to Matt in a bit. That's a good question, Leslie. Afternoon, John, guests and Jules and Chairs. Let's hope you're doing well, doing great, mate. Hope you are too. It's not about being ready. We won't win first time in with players that is European Champions League quality, in my opinion. The thing is, Jules, so if you get Champions League, then we can buy better players while we're there and get rid of the players that simply are not good enough. Also, scoreboards offside. And just Les. And with Target left back, I think you can use the left side more. I got one from Sven. I thought it was Sven going Eriksson in for the minute. Sorry, Sven, you're not quite Sven going Eriksson yet, but hi to you, mate. It's a lack of depth to survive just domestic campaigns, huge issue. It will require another January after takeover window to survive Europe as well. We need to sort it out in the summer as well. Especially ASN starts at the same time. Yeah, also 1-0 up. That was offside. And I don't know, is it 1-0 also? Or was it offside? We'll find out in a bit. Yeah, so you touched on Callum Wilson's, right? Going back to Wolves, right? Talk about Steve Bull. He's a legend at your club, isn't he, Stevie Bull, right? He thinks that Newcastle United are an average side. What's your take on that?
I think the difficulty is you've got teams around you at the minute that are massively overachieving as well in terms of like your Fulhams, your Brentfords, your Brightons and things like that as well. And what's difficult is the media narrative about certain clubs like Liverpool and Spurs are that they're having absolutely awful seasons. And if they're still above you, then how good can Newcastle be? Which I think is unfair, to be honest. I mean, you don't get to a cup final and be in a position of 6th in the table at this stage in the season if you're an average team. I think the difficulty is, and don't shoot me down, Toon fans here, but any team that has Longstaff as a starter can't be considered an elite team.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I think you're aware about where you should and with that squad of players need to be. It will just be kicking on in the next few windows to see how much ambition your owners have to break into that top 6 on a regular basis.
Yeah. We're going to get top 6 football on a regular basis in the future. Like, do you know what I mean? We're supposed to have a 5-year project, and we're way ahead of our project as well, by the way, as well. I think Jules will back us on that as well when she comes on. Yeah, also now wins with the goal and this time it does stand. And I got Julie J. Hi to Julie J. And I'm trying to get Julie on my chat as well, on my live show. So hopefully we get sorted out very soon. Let's all be thankful when Newcastle finish. We kind of get dragged in the relegation dogfight, lads. Gary, we're clear, mate. We are safe. I love Gary, though. I love Gary, man. He's a great guy. So I have to go into episode. Alan, you have a good day, mate. Enjoy the match as well. And so hi to Julie J. Of course, God goes on Uma. And saying Longstaff has been fantastic this season and walks into that current Wolves side. Yes. I mean, he's been Harry's. I mean, would you be in the first team? If you had a super team with Longstaff being that team, I ain't so sure. And just go for that as well. My computer's playing up as well. Hope not. So, touch on our manager, Eddie Howe. I mean, what do you think about Eddie Howe? When he was appointed at Newcastle, was he surprised, or do you think he's going to do a good job?
It was a difficult one because when he came in, obviously you were at the completely wrong end of the table, weren't you? And I thought to myself, obviously he'd done pretty amazing things at Bournemouth under a shoestring budget. And actually, what would he be able to do when he's given a war chest? Would he be able to manage that responsibility and sign, we've all played Football Manager and thrown 100 million at a player, not knowing if they're going to work or not. And I think actually he's done really well with the tools he's been given. And I don't think anybody can say that he's not achieved so far, what he has been asked to achieve, he's got you in a position. He's got you to a cup final and top six at the moment. I think the difficulty will be: will the owners and will the fans have faith that he's that man to then take you that bit further into Champions League football? But someone has to do it, and in terms of not every single Champions League manager started with Champions League clubs. We're not all Zinedine Zidane. So I think he's doing well, but like I said, he does have a certain style, and he does have a penchant for doing the dark arts of football. Which, listen, I'm not against. We've all been 1-0 down, and we've all players rolled back onto the pitch after injury or gone down like they've been shot by a sniper. Like it happens. It's just the way that football is. But I think Eddie Howe's known for it a little bit more than most.
We're going to have to go with Eddie Simeone for now on, I think.
Exactly.
You know what I'm on about, don't you? And
Yeah.
Class. Guys, if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like, subscribe as well. Also, Super Chat's open and members are open as well. Clone Lad has renewed his membership. Thank you very much indeed for that. And let's see, it's technically a question and a statement. It's because they don't have the balance left or right, so predictable moves on a week before found out. Do you think Newcastle's being found out now? Do you know, have they worked us out now in the tactics for Midi?
I don't know if it's a case of being found out so much as a case of it's again, I go back to the point where you've got a good squad of players. You just don't have an amazing squad of players, and the teams above you have very, very good squads. I mean, look who's above you in the table: Liverpool, Spurs, United, City, and Arsenal. Every one of them have world-class players within their ranks, and that's just the difference between the two. I don't think you've been found out so much as you're just at a point of the season where almost burnout. I guess you've played so much football, and you've had the high of that cup final that no matter what happened would have been a disappointment that you didn't win for the players and manager. That I think it might take a game or two more for you to kind of shake that off and then see that end of the season goal out, which is top 4 football. So I don't think you've been found out so much as it's been a long slog for you with a lot going on, and that takes its toll on a team.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, though, if you've been found out, sort of thing, Eddie Howe will not change the formation. It's always going to be 4-3-3. He's always going to play a front three. He's got a savings as well, by the way. I can't lie. And we've got a good defense as well, given that. But we don't concede 3s and 4s and 5s under Steve Bruce. And touching on Steve Bruce, I mean, what do you think of him when he's at Newcastle? Do you think he's going to get us relegated if Mike Ashley is still the owner of the football club?
I think, there were two things there. Both the ownership and the manager were in a position where it just looked untenable. It was looked to a point where something had to change, and obviously both did. Newcastle, no team is too big to go down. West Ham, yourselves have had that in over the last decade or so. And this season there will be a big boy that goes down, whether that be Everton, whether that be Leeds and West Ham, all three. Southampton and Bournemouth aren't dead and buried yet. So there are a lot of teams in this league that are worried. Palace have they haven't had a shot on target in 3 games. They're looking in trouble. So it's going to be a really interesting end to the season. No one's running away with the title. Top 4's wide open. Relegation could be 10 teams are struggling. So this is a great season for entertainment.
Yeah, I can see big teams going to get relegated. I mean, I think Bournemouth are still fighting to stay in the Premier League, but after they kind of left it a little bit too late, unless they're in the home games. But they'll give it a go. And yes, I'll come on the show sometime soon. Let us know, Jay. That'd be brilliant. Beat me to it. Martinelli's got a second for Arsenal. 2-0 to the Arsenal. And I hope Arsenal wins to keep Fulham behind us. Yep, good points, Charles. Don't see Fulham get anything here. I lack a left back. Lack a left back makes us loop side and predictable. Need target back in the side. I hope we play us today, in my opinion. And of course, you say take a couple more games, but no, we're at home under the lights. So get going away, the lads. Thank you for that, Jules. And Jed said we are on fire. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, what can I say this, right? I mean, if you give a short prediction 11, mate, starting 11, mate, who's going to be playing, who do you think is going to play for Wolves today?
Yeah, so it will be Sarr in goal. There's no question of that. Semedo at the back. Collins, even though he came on during the win over Spurs, he'll still prefer Kilman and Dawson. The difficult one will be left back for Wolves. So Johnny came in after Hugo Bueno had been injured, and it's a toss up between Aït-Nouri and Johnny. Johnny, the wily, experienced left back, but he has next to no pace. Good defensively, good creatively, but he just doesn't have the legs anymore to go up and down, up and down. Aït-Nouri does, but he's a bit of a liability defensively. I think he will play Neves, and I think it'll be a Neves, Lamina, and Mateus middle. I think we're probably looking at possibly Sarabia, Jimenez, and Cunha on the left, but within 60 minutes or so, Traoré will come on. So I don't think it's going to be anything worldly different to how we've been playing the last few games. But Traoré, deserves to get some game time, as he got us the winner against Spurs. He did really well in that game. Jimenez played, whilst he didn't get a goal, he was really vital in build-up play as well. So I don't think there'll be any major surprises in the squad. The only thing that will be a surprise will actually be if we revert to 5 at the back in order to try and stifle you guys and hit you on the counter.
Yeah, that's all I'm worried about. I don't think Lopetegui will play that way. I think he'd go for his 4-2-3-1, in my opinion. That's my guess. But if he does that, then I think he's going to try and man mark ASM or Miggy, and maybe Anthony Gordon if he does play it as well. So, yeah, for me, I say Nick Pope's going to be in goal. Trippier right back on the other side. I hope Target comes back. I think it'll be Dan Burn. At the centre of defence will be Botman and Cher. The midfield three will be Bruno Guimaraes. I hope he plays today, and I think he will do. Sean Longstaff, Joe Willett, because Joe Linton's has got a 2-game ban after his 10th book of the season. And up front is going to be, this is my front three, is going to be, I hope it's Anthony Gordon, ASM, and Isak. But knowing Eddie Howe, he'll probably play Miggy Almiron, Anthony Gordon, and Callum Wilson. That's who he'll play. And the thing is, Eddie Howe, I love him, but he's picked his favourites, and he needs to be ruthless, even in that as well. So would you be worried about that team at all, or Matt, or would you be comfortable?
I'd be worried because on the road we haven't kept a clean sheet for absolutely ages. We're not fantastic at keeping clean sheets away, and we're not fantastic anyway at scoring goals. Don't let 3-0 versus Liverpool fool you. We're still not prolific in front of goal. I'm not against you playing players like St. Maximin and your trickier players, because I think we've got enough defensively to handle them. What worries me more is if you've got a lethal number 9, because Kilman, for example, he struggles with that over the top ball. He'll watch the ball, he won't read the bounce, and a lethal striker will get on the end of it. Your trickier players that can beat a man, but then they're at the byline and got to cross it in, and 9 times out of 10 their crosses isn't to the man in the middle. We can deal with that. Dawson and Kilman can head those balls away. I'm not too worried there. But I think this is a game for a player like Wilson, actually, to exploit some of our defensive frailties. And I'll be interested to see how Johnny and Semedo deal if it is kind of an all-out attack from you guys. I'm really interested to see the lineup, to be fair, because it will tell the tale of the tape pretty much straight away with how the game will go. If Wolves are playing with 4 at the back, what will end up happening is we'll try and see the first half out. It won't be pretty. We'll defend kind of ruggedly. We'll go to 5 at 60 minutes in, and we'll try and hit you on the counter. Exactly what we did against Spurs. Exactly what we did against Everton. It's kind of a tried and tested game plan for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's definitely going to play 4-3-3. I think anyone shares that at all. And I can guarantee you one thing: he's going to bring Jacob Murphy on around the 70-minute mark every single time. Goes to more comments as well. Do you want Jacob Murphy in the summer?
Would we want him?
Yeah. Would you take him?
I don't. I think there are other players that we would need that fill a position that we've already been linked with. The difficulty for Wolves is at the moment is with I think who's going to be outgoing. We don't have time for any kind of luxury players. We need people in positions. Like we're going to need one or two strikers. We're going to definitely need to revitalize the midfield. So while I think he's a good player, I'm not sure is it entirely what we need at the moment. I think there are other that fit our model a little bit more as well. We're very much a loan to buy club. We like to test the water first before we commit to a player. But actually, I think from a Wolves point of view as well, there's the homegrown player side of things as well. We need to fulfill a quota for that. So it'll be interesting to see Newcastle. It'll be interesting how Newcastle cement themselves in terms of when they do get offers for their top players from the big clubs. Your ambition, whether if you hold on to them, is that a statement of intent that you're in it for the long run. You're in there to be in those top positions.
Yeah, I hope I'll be getting players as well. And I hope you do as well in the summer. Because I think Wolves should do big things if you stay up this season. I've said that the other day, and things have come good. Gosling comes as well. Excuse me, looking nasty bottom of the league. Reckon Everton are down. I think Everton stay up. To be fair, I hope it's not the case. I think they stay up. West Ham 1, Villa 1. I hope everyone goes down. Hi to Coffee. Hope you're okay, mate. And there's been a sending off as well, by the way. I'll comment on in a bit. Speaking of Tottenham, they won 3-1 against Nottingham Forest yesterday. Yes, they did. And afternoon to you, Alan. No more relegation for us. Been twice in the last 30 years. Thanks for it, Ashley. Yeah. Got one for I'm glad we're not on the relegation battle of the season. Anxiety would hit the roof. Absolutely. And you're missing a great Fulham Moorlands 2-0. Bargath, he's a big gooner, by the way. He's a big gooner. Lottie's pleased with that as well, by the way. And if Target doesn't start, hope we get a decent amount of minutes. 5 minutes at the end of the game doesn't help anyone get sharp. Let's have to agree with you as well all the way. Hi to Lee, OPK, my guy. And let's have a look. Comments, do apologise. I won't keep you waiting. Hope Jason not missed too much. Well, hope that is the case. And there's been a bit of breaking news, by the way. But from other streams, people like Jay, Casemiro's been sent off. Are you shocked?
It's one of those, Casemiro. I think you've got to kind of almost accept that you're going to get a few sending offs from him a season, but he's that influential. But it's not good news for Wolves if Southampton can get something out of this game. So hopefully United can see it out. Yeah,
absolutely. Murphy super sub, but not good when started for some weird reason. Now that's good news. What's the score? Neil Seach at Old Trafford. Murphinho, the greatest of all time, future Ballon d'Or winner, and a future Barca record signing. I love him, by the way. I love him. Gaspar comes to Man U. No red cards. Now he has 2 in a month. Not great. Murphy would be a legend for his performance against Southampton. I was just what did he do? For that? Oh, he just when Kalakar got sent off, he must have said something. You could have Frazier if you want. Ryan Frazier, he's available. Would you take him? Hard work.
Well, after the contract situation before and how we kind of came to you guys in the first place, I think he's one of those players. Listen, prior to that, I think he was one of those players that was on everybody's radar as a future star. I just don't think it's worked out for him as well as it could. But there's definitely a player there. It's just it might take a different kind of manager to get the most out of him. But I know Well, you tell me when he came after that whole contract thing with Bournemouth. Yeah. What were your thoughts on it? Because obviously there is a player there, but at the same time it was under weird circumstances.
For me personally, right? I mean, we've got him used to Arsenal as well, and I thought, he won't get any joy of Arsenal. We got him. I thought, you know what? We got a good player here. We really got a good player. Someone's going to come in, that plays left back, plays on left side midfield, can play midfield as well, and he's going to make a difference as crossing, taking on players. He's a tigerish player sort of thing, goes through big balls through your team. And the match I've seen, it's done a couple of good games, but at times he pretends to be injured sort of thing. He's never like an all in my book sort of thing, But as soon as Eddie Howe came in, right, he must be thinking, flipping heck, I've got to deal with this guy again. The one he didn't want to play for Bournemouth for the next 6 weeks, and he buggered off, didn't want to play. And all of a sudden, cost Bournemouth relegated, right? Or relegation. And all of a sudden, he's got to work with him again. But Eddie's tested the water, right? And for the second time, he just basically don't want to play for him, basically. So that's why Eddie just said, you know what? You're in the reserves, my guy. Do you know what I mean? You're in the under 21s. That's it. You are done. But I can say now, the Ryan Fraser will not be playing for Newcastle United ever again. And I hope he gets sold in the summer, because we really need players that's going to come here and be interested. Do you know what I mean? But this guy, Eddie Howe, does not want to play. Don't want to play him again. What can you say? So there you go. Let's go through the comments as well. Casemiro's red card means he could be out against Newcastle United on April the 2nd, which I'm afraid I cannot go because I cannot get the next day off. Yeah, Chino to Arsenal, the Waves. Hi to Joe. Hope you're okay, mate. And Casemiro's red card. There's going to be a meltdown on social media. How much would Wolves want for Ruben Neves? 12 months left on his contract if he's available.
Well, the difficulty is that's exactly the problem. I don't think you can be picky about the price now, because we've allowed the contract to roll down. What we'd want, if you look at what certain players have gone for in the Premier League, you know, Grealish aside because of the English tax, I genuinely don't think that we should be selling for anything less than kind of 70 million. Legitimately do, because of what he offers the squad and what he will offer other teams. The issue is we won't get 70 million for him if we sell him. We won't get anywhere near it because of what we've allowed to happen with his contract situation. He's a legend at the club and everybody gives him their blessing to go. I reckon he ends up going for 40, 45 in the end to hopefully a team on the continent and not in the Premier League.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, if I was a Wolves fan, I'd rather see him go to a continental club, to be fair. And then if he played against Wolves, then that'd be an absolute nightmare. I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it.
Well, we had it with Jota when we sold Jota, and obviously he's become a superstar now for Liverpool. And the difficulty with that was we never saw that coming. At the time, he was like a 4th choice winger for us. And they've seen something that obviously we couldn't get out of him, and now he's Champions League winner and everything else, which is that's just how cruel football is, isn't it? I guess.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he gets a good reception with the contact of Liverpool for what he's done.
Yeah, it's he always gets a good reception when he comes to Molineux. To be fair, just Jota, and we don't have many that we don't have respect for, except for maybe. Morgan Gibbs-White, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, he got a lot of stick him. He's going to get it for Wolves fan. I know that. Go to the comments as well. Go for the predictions as well, and how the game's going to go. Newcastle will sell the top players here. Saudi ain't here to be doing that. They won't. They want to challenge top of the league and Champions League. Alan, you're absolutely right, mate. I want a title within 3 years. Lee, it was one of the highlights of the season for me. Yes, I remember that, Jacob Murphy. And mind you, haven't played well about Casemiro. Absolutely, Julie Genome and Eddie likes him around. Casemiro will trend for days on Twitter. Surprised Bruno Fernandes hasn't had a meltdown over it as well. Exactly. Absolutely, exactly. Mourinho has the best stats in the Premier League for hitting the post. He has, actually. As far as I'm concerned, Ryan Fraser's already left. He's dead. Yeah, I know what I mean. He's done for me. He's done for me. Should have Maxi and Isak up top. Casemiro out for 4 games. Like a second, yes. So did he get a second? Hang on, he got sent off twice, did he? I'm sure he did at Palace. Was it against Palace?
He's been sent off this season already, Casemiro. Yeah, I'm sure he has.
Yeah. I think it's against Palace, by the way. I could be wrong. Zahu didn't mean for that meltdown. I know what you mean, Jerry. All good. There's a 3-game ban means Casemiro misses a game at St James's Park. Thank you for that, Tony. Hope you're right, mate. And all good. So go for Julie again. There's a Fiesta in on 21 who doesn't pull his weight and on the way eat. Absolutely. And big on the Blakey, by the way. Got to smash Mania St James's and Casemiro and Jay Salmon is back. Julie. Yeah, and the Wolves goalkeeper has an awesome beard the last time we played them. Talking about Jose Sarr, I think this keeper's a good keeper, by the way. Is he a Portuguese? Is he an international now? Portuguese international? Is he in the first team or second? He's behind
he's in and around them because you've got Patricio, you've got Lopez at is he at Lyon now? And you've got Sarr as well. So they've got an abundance of Portuguese keepers in the national team. But yeah, he is. The issue has been we've not had a decent backup for him for a while, and then so competition hasn't been there for him. Like he was pretty much going to play regardless of how good or bad he's been doing. We brought in Bentley in the summer and let Sarkic go out on loan, and Bentley again, he's never going to challenge. I don't think Jose Sarr, but Sarr's found some really good form. He won us the game basically against Spurs, made some amazing saves, and he's back to good form. But he was playing for a long part of the season with a broken hand, so you got to take it with a pinch of salt.
I know it costs a lot. It costs some good money as well to come to use. By the way, 35 people watching live. Thank you very much indeed. Please smash the likes as well. Hit the subscribe button. Also, you know what to do: super chats and also membership as well. I'm full defenders. Wolford, as Arsenal should be at least 4-0 up. Absolutely, Tony. Hope you're right, mate. And 30 million max for Neves, 12 months left. And who would buy a player who doesn't pull his weight and has an attitude problem? That is the thing. We're going to have to sell him on the cheap, Julie, to be fair. No matter what, just get him off our books. The sooner he goes, the better. I can't lie. Did you hear that Chelsea NBA club stole the Jamaican kid from under 17? Yeah, I've heard that as well. It's Richards, Jujan Richards came to us, right? Chelsea goes and get him, right? Off on us. I mean, Chelsea, they spend 600 mil, right? What do you think of them as a football club? Spend all that money.
It's difficult because obviously they're under new ownership now and they want to achieve certain things. And bringing in Graham Potter, I don't think he's just not a Chelsea manager. I'm just used to them having absolute either superstar managers, ego managers, that are flirting with the Champions League on a regular basis, and I'm not sure Potter is the man to do that. I like him as a manager. I think he's done brilliant things, possible England manager of the future. But that club are just in a position where they thrive on being superstars and having superstars, and I don't know if he's the manager to take them forward. You know, they're always going to have to pay over the odds for players because they've got a track record of doing it. They have. And they've got this model of like buying hundreds of players and having them loaned out across Europe and the wider world, and it pays off for them because they've got the resources to do it. But if there's one club, there are two clubs that Newcastle have a chance of overtaking permanently, and that's Spurs and Chelsea. And whether that happens in the long run, I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see which one of those two, if they do make way for a team like Newcastle or a team like Brighton in the future.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, Shah? I think he's turned into Chelsea, into American football style play. He wants about 80 players at any time. And I tell you what, that ain't going to work. American football maybe, but not Premier League football, I'm telling you. But I just hope Chelsea fail. I really hope they fail big time. I really do, because what they're doing to the Premier League shocking. Excuse me. Our game's the second game. That is from Casemiro. Totally thanks for that, mate. I'm sure Cass sent off a few games for Cup final. They do mistake. They do. And also now 3 goals up. Odegaard with the third goal. Fulham in disarray. Have to win about vice players and get him to join Chelsea. First team and youngsters just disappear. Leslie, well said. Absolutely. I think this kid's been badly advised, by the way. Badly advised. How is Nathan Collins doing for Wolves? One of the few Republic of Ireland players in the Premier League. Seems like there's a fine player in there, Nathan Collins.
Yeah, the difficulty for Collins has been he came in at a point in time where we desperately needed defenders, and Cody had gone to Everton, and there was a lot of discussion about that between it really split Wolves fans down the middle. Collins came in, played really well until he kung fu kicked Jack Grealish, got himself sent off, and then he just couldn't find form afterwards. Brought Dawson in. Dawson should be the first name on the team sheet every week. Because he's been that good for us. And Collins has made way on the bench. The difficulty is, if you'd have said to me at the start of the season, or we'd have brought in Dawson and brought in Collins at the same time, everybody would have been fine and understood that Collins is going to learn from Dawson And then when Dawson eventually goes in a season or two's time, it's Collins can graduate from subs bench to being the first 11. It's just because he's had a taste of the first team. I think it looks odd that he's not playing. But the plan, I think, would always have been Kilman and Dawson. Collins is a good player, but he's super young still. He's got a lot of development to do. So I think it's not a surprise he's not starting, but there's a definite player there for sure.
I'm going to have to agree because I think that guy's brilliant. I think he's going to be a great defender. So he's 6'4" in height and he's quick and he reads the game as well. Good in the air. I mean, look, started as Kraft to Burnley and you go and buy him for something like 18 million quid. I think that's a cracking buy. I mean, for a young player, Nathan Collins, it's just going to get better and better, that guy, I'm telling you. Chelsea, Miles Head as an equipment. Kenji Pai is the next one for them. I think it'll be off to Chelsea. Difficult to stop them in the future with all the prospects. Exactly. That's what's going to happen soon. And please hit those likes and subscribe if you're new to the show. Super chats available if you should do this. Thank you, Jess. Where is he? Foxy in Ecuador as well, Leslie. What about the player with the pirate celebration? Him and it is. If he's a danger man in that squad, is he the same player now? In your opinion? Because I don't think he is. Since he's had an injury, it's a shame. It's a shame, man.
It is. He was at the point in time where we were worried about who's going to sign him in the summer. Like he was getting to kind of world class territory. Outside of the top six, he was the best striker in the league. He had the injury. I'm amazed he even came back to football, to be honest, after the injury he suffered. It was like a life or death injury. He has been slowly improving, though, game by game. He had a goal he's had 2 goals now that have been ruled offside over the last couple of games. And he's starting to attribute some of the assists and some of the hold-up play that we've expected from him. So I don't think today he'll score, but I think coming up against Forest and Leeds and Leicester, I think we'll have a strong end to the season with Jimenez.
Things, for your sake, I think he'll keep you up as well. I think Wolves will be fine. Don't worry about that. Chelsea has got a team coach now. They've got a private train. That's from Lee. Yeah, that's true. Jimenez, we just chat about it, Tony. You're right. It's not been the same player. None of these top prospects are going to get a game. They'll be loaned out and sold for profits. They have about 4 or 5 players in each position and not far off. That's very true. And go to get your prediction score. Chelsea buying players and other clubs and scouting. It's like copying during an exam. Exactly. They're like sharks, are they? And 3-0 up, Odegaard. Thank you for that one. Yes, so Chelsea can't bite exactly, Alan. Thank you, Gary. ILC, mate, is chatting to ILC. I would love Ruben Neves at the Toon. I really would. He link up with Bruno really well. I'll tell you what, I would as well. We don't want players who don't want to join us, so couldn't care less. Agree with you, Blakey. And Leslie, 15 years old, that kid as well. See you later, John. Got to get ready for your show. Good luck on your show, Tony. I'll probably be watching as well. And good luck to you, mate, as well. But Tommy and Maguire can go where they just want to play, where they want to place, but not us. That's very, very true. And just going to go for it as well. See you there. Certainly as well. Yeah, so just going to the prediction of the score. Can you tell us the score, please, on today's game between Newcastle and Wolves? Sorry about that. I nearly forgot that question. And
that's all right. Well, the history books I don't think there's ever been more of a shoo-in for 1-1 in this game. I think Wolves will draw. I think the game will end up as a draw. I think Wolves will have enough defensively to see it out. I just don't think we're at a risk of scoring more than 1 goal. So I think we'll draw this 1-1 personally.
Yeah, 1-1. Okay. So got 3-0. Let's say 3-0. And look at this one. Don't skip over our comments, John. Let's choose. And I don't always talk crap. Listen, get your boxing gloves on. Ding, ding, ding. I tell you what, Jules and Les are brilliant together. So made together. So I'll tell you what, I would like to be the referee on that one as well. Jimenez was fantastic with the head injury. Hope he returns to form, but hoping not today. Yeah, I'm only joking, you know that. You love drinking season. It's coffee. And him as a great player. Shame he isn't as good this season. That's from Julie. And also, got to try hard as well. 2-0, not another draw as well. So I'm going to go 1-0 to Newcastle. I don't think there'll be goals in it. It was 1-0 last season, early in the season, when ASM scored a 1 goal. What do you think that 1 goal for ASM?
frustrating, really, because it's the kind of goal that you should be defending, you should be doing well against. But I like Saint-Maximin. I just see too many. I see too much of him in Traore and vice versa. Incredible on the wings, but that end product is just it stops them being at the peak of players.
Absolutely, absolutely. I see what you mean. You know what it is? I thought we should have had a penalty early against Hughes as well, and Sean Lonson got brought down as well, but that was gone. That was gone, like, do you know what I mean? But hey ho, what can I say? What can I say? I mean, look, it's been done now. It's gone. We're not gonna mourn about it. If it happened the other way around, it's gone. So I got one from KD Lee, V-Nil. That girl from Trafalgar Square. We got a photo. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And remember that. And hope you like KD, and I hope you're having a good day. Are you off for the match today? And I hope you get a win today. So what a cracking time, Trafalgar. I was there for about 4.5 hours, by the way. If anyone met KD, she's a big Newcastle fan, and give her a shout. 3-0 to ASM, Isak and Mafinho. He keeps calling Mafinho, doesn't he? If he had a Brazilian passport, I tell you what, he'd be world class. We're going to see a dance off between ASM and Adana on the left-hand side. It's like watching Strictly Come Dancing, man. Do you know what I mean?
Two tricky players for sure. I don't think Adama starts it personally, but he'll come on at some point, and then it'll be a good face-off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hope ASN comes out on top. Great show on the next. Thank you very much, Steve Jules. We're either going to end it there because I think we covered most shows as well. And, you know, I mean, thank you for coming on. But did you enjoy coming on? Did you enjoy coming on our show today?
I did, mate. I always love talking to Newcastle fans. Every time I've been up to your part of the world, your fans have been great. Legitimately, I'm not trying to blow smoke. I've always had a really good time up in Newcastle. The fans are really hospitable, really nice part of the world. So I hope you do well for the rest of the season after today.
Big up. Absolutely. Let's hope we get 3 points today, but we make the best side win. Thanks, everyone, in the chat. Been great. Thank you, Leslie. I really appreciate that as well. And also for your up Newcastle to win by 2-1. Great shows always, John. Thank you, Julie J. Appreciate that. Bye to Alan. You have a good day. Take care, everyone. Love to all as well. To you as well. Cheers. And thank you both and Gav as well. And could you tell us where you can find you on your socials, please?
Matt. Yeah, so we're at Wolves Fancast on the socials, YouTube. Every handle is the same, Twitter, etc. We do pre-shows just like yourselves and post-match podcasts as well. So if you want to get the Wolves take after this game, win, lose or draw, we'll have that as well. If you fancy hearing from the enemy. Yeah,
absolutely. I may come on your show as well some stage. You never know. If you give us an invite, I'll come on as well, because I do like going on other people's shows as well, just to get me put my head in their channel as well, you know.
Yeah, brilliant.
See what I mean? So, guys, if you like the video and like what you see, the link's in the description as well. Go on to Wolves Podcast, subscribe to their channel. You don't have to be a Wolves fan, but just hit that subscribe button as well on it. Sure. And you take care, Joe. 3-1 to Newcastle. And if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like, subscribe. You know exactly what to do. The kick-off's an hour and a half's time. And I'll just have a quick review backstage, Matt. Quick words as well. Don't go away yet. And until then, guys, watch what you're doing and have a fantastic afternoon. Let's hope we get the 3 points, because I'll tell you something now. We need those 3 points because it's so important. So, guys, thank you for watching. I'll show you back for a match review at 7 o'clock. I need to join us for that. And until then, guys, have a good afternoon. Take care.